This meeting is being recorded. This meeting is being recorded.
What? What the topic?
Oh, it was like over comparing the religions, right?
Yeah.
So I did Taoism and Buddhism.
Oh, good. Did you receive my feedback?
No.
Oh, you have not submit your topic and an outline?
I thought I did, but can I send it again? I thought I did turn it in.
Oh, okay, sure. You upload to the Blackboard, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, please, if you can turn on the video cam so that we can communicate. Okay. Hi. Daniel Khan, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can.
You cannot turn on your video cam?
No, Professor, because I use my phone to log on because for some reason the application doesn't work on my laptop. So I always call in from the toll-free number, so I can't turn my webcam on.
I see. You got my message, right?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
You understand, right?
Yeah, thank you so much. I do.
Okay. So make sure to check your grammatical errors and typo, okay?
Professor, I just wanted to ask you one last thing. When I submitted my response last night, it said I had, because the source I used was a book about the topic, and so my citation was the same as the bibliography on the Wikipedia page. So it says that I have 5% similarity, but the similarity is only the citation on Wikipedia.
No, don't worry. When I look at your paper that submit on the Turnitin, I would recognize us. Don't worry. I would not take off from the biography.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Only the biography part was the same. Otherwise, the content is completely different.
No,
okay. Thank you.
If you look at my rating, you see I don't count.
Okay.
Informations. All information I count is your writing, your own writing, not citation. Make sense?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Please, if you have video cam, please turn on so that we can communicate with each other directly. Type your names and the number that we want to talk today. This is the record, okay? So we have few more minutes. We have 7 minutes. Anyone of you have question for me? Your work, your assignment, your day, Any questions for me? Or you can stay back after class. Okay. Yeah, please remember, type your names and number on the left side on the chat so that I can keep that record for your grade, okay?
I'm doing this video call on my phone and it's like dying and I don't have a charger. Can I just turn the camera off? Is that okay?
What's that? What did you say?
I said like I'm doing this on my phone, like I'm using the Zoom app on my phone and because I don't have my laptop and my phone is dying and I didn't bring my charger. Is it cool if I just like turn the camera off?
Yeah, you can turn the camera off, but when it's your turn to talk, you turn on, okay? You don't have the charger?
I don't have the what?
You don't have a charger?
No.
Are you at the school now or somewhere else?
Yeah, I am. I'm at school.
Is that the iPhone?
Yes. Yes.
Just ask someone if they can lend you the...
I'm at school. I have a charger. It's an Apple, a Mac charger.
Yeah, you can turn if it's if you can ask someone to lend you the charger, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I have an iPhone charger. I'm on campus.
Oh, really? Where are you at?
At the McIlhenny building. It's near where the religion class building is. It's not very far.
I'm on 46%. I think I'll be okay. I'll try.
You're where?
I'm on 46%. I think that should be good, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a good amount. I would think so.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
That's funny.
Okay, 2 more minutes. Anyone want to ask me anything? You can ask now. Okay.
Professor, our final presentation is due on April 18th, right?
Yes.
You changed it. Okay. April 18th.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me see. Let me check my email. Who will do the final presentation? Final in-class presentation.
But Professor, don't we only have one in class left? So isn't that going to be next Thursday?
No. This is for final. I think it's the 18th, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's just only one. We have one more. We have one more online meeting, and then after that.
So, like for the final presentation, we're going to be presenting in class, right? So we don't
Yes.
have to like record. Okay.
Yeah, if you present it in class, you don't need to do. You don't need to submit. If you want to, if you can submit to YouTube, it is up to you. Let me see.
Which one do you prefer?
Huh?
Which one do you prefer? Like, would you prefer if we presented in class or if we did it
It's
on
up to
YouTube?
you. I give you
Okay.
that option. If you want to do in class, you don't need to submit to YouTube.
But we certainly won't have enough time for everybody in class.
Yeah, because
I know, but I will. I know. Let me double check today and the next meeting who will do the in-class presentation. Okay. Okay. Hi, Jackie. All right. So time's up now. Please type your names on chat. Type your names and the number that you're going to talk today for your record or for your credits. Okay. If you don't type, it's pretty hard for me to keep track, and sometimes I miss your name for grading the attendance. Okay, please. All right, so time is up now. If you can, please turn on the video cam so that we can communicate each other easily. Okay, let's see. Okay, and please I try to minimize the background noises, because whenever something happen, some noises around your house, a room, or wherever, will affect the whole groups. Okay, please. That's cool. Okay, so let's move on. Any question before we move on to the discussion? Any question for me? Okay, let's do one by one then. Let's see. Jessica, what's your topic for final? Jessica. Yeah, go ahead, Jessica.
It's the use of mantras for healing in Buddhism.
Oh, good. Okay, Christina, what's your final presentation?
Oh, I told you already.
I'm sorry. All right, Jackie.
Okay.
Jackie, what's your final presentation?
My final presentation is going to be on like the deities and the religions and the stories relating to them.
Okay. About Alice, Alexander, right? What's the
No. I think that mine is going to be over. Oh gosh, let me look for a second here because I switched it. Go to someone else and come back to me.
Okay. About Cameron, can you hear me? Cameron? Can you hear me? Cameron? I cannot hear you. We cannot hear you. Check your mic. About let's happen. Right, what's your Thai final?
I was thinking about doing Jainism in the modern time right now.
Okay, good. About Maro, what's the final? Can you turn on the cam, Maro? Maro, right? Maro, sorry.
I'm on my phone. It's already set up.
So what's your topic?
The topic I chose would be similar. It'd be like how like the impact, the religion and deities and gods in China,
Okay.
or before Buddhism came around.
Okay, good.
How it changed after.
I have mine, Professor, by the way.
Yeah, what's your?
I'm going to do Confucianism in Communist China. So the history of Confucianism in Communist China.
We don't study communism here.
Well, I wanted to like show the impact that communism had on the religion and its practices and how it negatively or positively affected Confucianism.
I think you need to do the reverse way. How Confucianism affect communism, because we don't study communism here.
So yeah, so how Confucianism affected communism.
Yeah, that's why that's more.
Yeah.
It's more feasible.
Okay.
We study politics here. Okay.
But how Confucianism affected communism is definitely something I can. Okay.
That's good. You just reverse way. Okay. All right. Anyone? Let's see. Daniel, can you repeat? What?
Yeah. My topic is bless you.
Yeah, sorry.
My topic is Sikhism and the way of life, like the Sikhism way of life, and just like their spirituality and what they believe in the afterlife and all of that.
Is this for the whole 7 traditions, or are you focused on any particular traditions?
It's within Sikhism. Like there's specific topics that it's the specific topics I'm concerned with in the outline I mentioned.
Okay.
It's only Sikhism though.
Oh, okay, all right. About Hip, what's your topic?
My final project's going to be over the practice of meditation, its uses in like different religions, and how it's used today in like pop culture as opposed to religion.
But remember, if you talk about meditation, just stay within 7 traditions.
Within the 7 traditions?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
within 7 traditions. Don't talk about Christian meditation.
Yeah.
Judaism meditation and so forth. Make sense?
Right. Yeah.
You need to do something within this parameter. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, good. All right. How about anyone? About Fighty? Patient, right? What's your topic for final presentation? How about Ryan? What's your final presentation topic for your presentation, Ryan?
I'm doing my presentation on how Buddhism spread in different parts of the world. So like how it spread to like each individual like sections, like kind of talking about like how it spread to Tibet, Southeast Asia, China, Japan, and then even Buddhism in the modern world.
Okay, good then. Yeah, about Azim, right? That's Azim. So what's your topic? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you now. So what's your final?
Yeah. No, my name is Sharak, but I'm doing it on Buddhism and its way of life. Okay. More specifically, rebirth, the cycles of life, blase.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. All right, let's see. Melody. Melody, can you put on the cam?
It's not working for me.
Okay. So what's your final topic then?
My final topic is about Buddhism in Cambodia.
Good. Yeah, you got my feedback, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. All right. Mark, can you turn on the cam? Okay. Bob, Brian, what's your final topic, Brian?
My final topic is on Hinduism and its impact on architecture.
Okay, that's good. Oh, let's just move on. Okay, let's. I think from beginning of the semester, have the list of students who sign up for final in-class presentation, right? Let me repeat. We have Jackie. You want to do in-class presentation, right, Jackie?
Yes, I do.
All right. Faith, right? Pension. I want to confirm. Faith tips. Pension, right? About Alexandra, you do in-class presentation, right?
An in-class presentation?
Yeah, you sign up at the beginning of semester, right?
I signed up for it. I mean, I can do it in class if we have the time. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What was that?
So that would be the 18th of April?
Yes.
Okay.
18th April, when we have that last meeting in class.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do it in class. That's no problem.
Good. Okay. All right. So let's move on for today. So please, one more time, type your name on the chat and the number that you're going to talk today. Okay. So for your records. All right. Let's move on for our discussion today about Taoism. Who would like to start number one? Who would like to start for number one?
Professor?
Yes.
I don't remember there being numbers assigned to the questions.
You don't remember the number? The questions?
Yeah, I mean, I have a question, but it's one of the ones at the end, but there's no numbers assigned to it. Is that true for everyone else, or do I just need to look at it again?
Yeah. Okay, number one describes how Taoist observers and celebrations are in accordance with the yin and yang notion of time and energy. That's number one. Question number one. So how do they celebrate according to the yin and yang in Taoism? Who would like to do number one? Again, please try to minimize background noises because anything happen over there, every one of us here. Okay, so let's go back to number one. Okay, who would like to do number one? How they celebrate the festival and so forth according to the yin and yang? Who know how? For example, New Year, Lunar New Year. What represent? Who been at my temple during the New Year?
Should be alternating between the backdrop and then the.
Sorry, a lot of background noises. So if you want to talk, if you like to talk, please raise your hand. I mean spell your last name. Tell your last name and the number. Okay. Like to talk. Number one. Okay. About silly, right? Silly, right? Sister, right? Sorry, I don't know how to spell that your name. Sister Hun. You sign up for final presentation in class. Final presentation.
It's not like a
yes. Okay. All right. So go back again.
The Runyo guys.
Please try to minimize background noises. Out of respect for everyone else here. Okay, and type your names and number that you want to respond. Okay, so let's go back to number one again. How Taoists celebrate the New Year and so forth according to the yin and yang notion. Who can respond to number one?
I don't have number one, but they have annual festivals with yin yang.
Speak your last name, Chucky, so that I can do.
Tran?
Yes.
So I think the New Year festival is the most important. It is the celebration of return of Yang.
Mm-hmm.
In the winter solstice, so it's like the colors red, gold, and orange.
Mm-hmm.
And then in for the Yang, I think there's the double fifth festival,
Yeah.
which is the peak of the Yang in the summer solstice, and it's to get get rid of excess yin or yang in oneself, since it's considered dangerous to have a lot of those.
Okay. So the new year represents the pick up, the beginning of June, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the double fifth. What's mean by double fifth?
Double fifth is the peak of yang, the summer solstice.
Okay. All right. So okay, get move on. Number 2. We will have a lot. Number 2. Explain the shipping processes of Taoist thought from the quest for immortality to the ethical establishment. Order is number 2. How could they shift from the approach of immortality? That means they want to find some special herbs or to do some kind of meditation and so forth to extend, to prolong the life. But they don't. They shift that part and they shift that process into what the gear of ethical establishment. Who want to do that?
I have number 2, so
go ahead.
Fran, Jackie, I think for immortality, it focuses on the physical body. So the way it is, it's like returning to nature. So they do it to where the Han and the Q in the soul is balanced, so like so they can live longer with nature and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it changed because of Buddhism and Confucianism influences into the religion. So I don't know the details on that. It was kind of
So how can they apply the morality in Taoism? How can it connect with the immortality that relate to morality? How?
I'm not sure.
For example, right? Is like some precept, some Buddhist precept, like no killing, no stealing, and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if they abide with this morality, they will prolong their life. So that's the whole concept. Okay, this is different concept too, but I just want to summarize. But at first, they focus on prolonging the life, right? Extending the life.
Yeah, and they'll do that through alchemy.
What's that?
They'll to prolong immortality, they developed like a method called alchemy, which was mixing things together, but like it was also poisonous to their bodies. It was bad.
Yeah, but you know who start that kind? Who try to test that type of inner alchemy? You know who? The Chinese emperors, right? Some of them, they want to prolong their life, they want to live. They thought that they would find some medicine could prolong their life, but most of them, when they try that kind of medicine, they die, right? Yeah. All right, let's move on. Number 3. Who does number 3? Your name, please. Spell your last name, please.
Bhakta, B-H-A-K-T-A.
Speak up, please.
B-H-A-K-T-A.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the 3 officials are heaven, earth, and water. They have their own celebrations throughout the year of wherein people can confess their sins. And the way they do that is they write it on a slip of paper. And for earth, they bury it. And then for water, they submerge it. And then for heaven, they burn it up. And so that's kind of like how it's kind of like just like normal confession thing. And then they also do like good deeds and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
I could go more in depth about the deities.
Yeah, please speak. I mean, let's spell your last name, please.
Ingalls, Ingalls.
Yeah, please go.
So these three officials, they're basically the highest deities, sky deities in Taoist religions.
Okay.
For the heavenly official, on the 15th day of the first month in the lunar calendar, he descends to Earth and expects and decides the sins and blessings of men. Then what's the other one? The earthly official who absolves sins on the 15th. Every 15th of the 7th month, he comes to the human world and expects the sins of men and absolves them. And the water official, on every 15th of the 10th month, he comes to the human world and inspects sins and good fortunes and eliminates the misfortunes of men.
Okay. So what happened with the paper? Why do they burn the paper and submit to water? Why?
Because if I read it correctly, that's how the message goes. Like if you're writing the piece of paper and you burn it, and the message goes up to the sky to the heavenly official.
All right. So that's their belief, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's their belief to get it off the sin, right?
Yes.
That's the way they repent their sin. Anyway, any more? Anyone want to add more? Okay, that's good enough. Okay, number 4. Who does number 4?
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Speak up your last name, please.
Last name is Pecen. Pecen, as in Nancy.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the development of the techniques of the self-cultivation enhance like ethical principles. So the first one is Ji Hong. And so his work included recipes for achieving immortality through the infusion of alchemical elixirs. And so this was to ritually pure the techniques. And so his view was called 3 worms.
Okay.
So these are agents in the body that there were like kind of like spies, you could say, in the body that whenever one person did a sin, they would report it to the heaven. Okay. And so with every sin, every time you do a bad sin, it would lower your lifespan. That's what they said. And so the second one is called Wang Zi, the founder of the Complete Perfectionist in the 12th century. And his was the 3 teachings of Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. And this is in the pursuit of immortality through the interior alchemy. And so he taught to prohibit sexual activity, anger, and desire for wealth. Yes, sir.
So why do they incorporate 3 teachings?
They incorporate the 3 teachings. Our book said that together because they about good works and confession for forgiveness, and they believe that those 3 religions were had that same belief in forgiveness and coming for a perfect clean world.
Okay, that's right. But my question is, as in Taoism, right? Where's their views about? What's the view about Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism? What are the functions of these 3 teachings according to Taoist view?
Taoism concerns like itself with like the search for meaning. Okay. Is that correct? And like they share common beliefs about like man, society. That's like they're together, or I don't really know.
Okay. How about Confucianism in Taoist view?
Confucianism and Taoist view. Confucianism is like
the function. Its function in society.
In society.
What are the function of Confucianism?
The function was like to have like a structured society.
Yeah.
Structured. And so, yes, sir.
Yeah, it geared toward politics.
And politics. And for Taoism, it's to be one with Tao.
How about Buddhism?
Buddhism,
according to their view, according to Taoist view, what are the functions of Buddhism in society?
I didn't read that one, sir.
It's more in
Can you tell me?
spirituality. It's more in afterlife. It's more
afterlife.
It is more in the religious life or spirituality.
Spirituality, yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why they classify these two teachings, but somehow they combine or incorporate these two teachings together.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So you sign up for your final presentation in class, final presentation, right?
In class.
Yeah. You sign up.
Oh, on the paper. Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, for in class final presentation on April the 18th. You do that?
Okay.
All right. I want to make sure. I want to confirm with you guys. I will decide out your name. All right. Okay, that's good. Number 5. Who does number 5? Let's see. What's number 5? Describe how the Qi vital matter of Taoism were developed into 5 phases and 5 elements. Who can elaborate what's been the 5 phases and 5 elements? How Qi was developed into 5 phases and 5 elements. Who know what are the 5 elements? Some of you done the paper, right? The 5 elements are.
I know the 5 elements like Shi, Zen.
Your name.
Shara, Kazim.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, are the 5 elements like Ho? Hold on. Yeah, one of them. What the hell?
Okay, anyone? Okay, now here. Anyone of you try to respond how?
Okay, so the 5 elements. Yeah, the 5 elements are Han and Po, and there's also
no, that Hong and Po is not the elements. They are Po. They are the elements.
Shen, Yi, and Yi.
Professor.
Yes.
Cecile Huynh. The 5 elements are fire, water, air, earth, and wood.
Yeah, and how about 5 phases?
5 phases? I don't remember that on top of my head.
Okay. How about the Qi? How could the Qi transfer into these 5 elements or break down to 5 elements? In Taoism, the Qi is the core elements of the universe, right? And how do they divide this Qi into the 5 elements?
How it separates to the 5 elements? Basically, the 5 elements are associated to different parts of the body. And
how is the universal Qi, right, was developed into 5 elements? How was it split out into 5 elements?
The Qi is associated having different cycles, seasonal and daily cycles. And because of these different cycles, it would be associated to certain elements.
Remember the Qi in Taoism, right? It was divided or split out into what? The Yang and Yin.
Yang.
What's been Yang Yin?
Okay, Yang is considered like masculine energy, considered with warmth.
Masculine power still, right?
Yes.
And Yin
is considered like feminine energy, considered associated with coldness.
Yeah, from Yang and Yin is split out into the 5 elements.
Yes.
That's what's the meaning. And you don't know the 5 phases?
No, on top of my head. No.
Okay, let me show you guys. Okay. Here the 5 phases. Here, can you see, right? Here, birth, growth, transformation, decline, and death. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this go wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And this is another cycle here too. Okay, this is yang and this is yin. This is yang is power still, right? Masculine, and yin is feminine, and so forth. Okay, so that's the 5 phases go together with 5 elements. Let's start with split up as yin and yang. Okay. All right, let's go back number 6 then. Who does number 6? Who does number 6 then? Number 6, how Taoist blends the concept of practice feng shui into the spiritual events. Who know feng shui? What's in feng shui? You guys, some of you guys know, right? Who know feng shui? Number 6, any one of you? It's very easy question. Who know what's meant by feng shui? Feng is mean what? Feng does mean the wind. Shui does mean water. So according to Taoism, right, the wind and the water affect to everyone of us, affect to the whole universe, right? And that's why, you know, for some Chinese people, even Vietnamese, before they open a store, a shop, a business, or even buy a house, they need to look at the feng shui of their business or of their house. Let me give you one example. This is be common sense. I don't believe in feng shui, but I recognize the common sense. It's common sense. For example, if you build a house in the valley, right? What happens when it's raining? When it floods your house. So it's better to build a house on the hill, on the high place, high ground. Otherwise, you know, like in Houston, we have the Harvey hurricanes. Many houses were flooded because they were located in the low area. So it's a common sense, right? But somehow some of them, they focus mainly about the forms or the location, the times for their feng shui, for their starting, for them to do business, all right? And that's the way they can utilize the feng shui to apply into their spiritual life. For example, if you live in the rural area, right? Yes, you have more fresh air. But if you live in the city, you may inhale all kind of pollutions. So that's just a feng shui too, right? It may affect to the way how you handle your emotion when you inhale. When the air is so polluted, it may affect to your mentality. It's easy for people to get mad and so forth. But if you live in the pure, the clean air era, it's easy for you to be comfortable, to be compassionate, to be kind and so forth. So it's affect to your spiritual life. It's affect to your mentality too. That's what they talk about. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Number 7. Who does number 7? Explain how Taoists utilize the Qi channel in the body, as well as visualizing it as a microcosmic country. How? Which is administered by similar human imperial state. Number 7. Who does number 7? A little bit complicated. Anyone of you? Anyway, anyone of you does number 7?
I had a question that was a lot similar to it that kind of disappeared. I don't see it on the question pool now.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's about macrocosm and microcosm.
Yeah, go ahead. Your name, please. Your
Jessica.
Last name.
Rendon, Rendom.
Yes.
When you utilize macrocosm and microcosm, it's just a difference in scale. Say human versus the universe. The human is the microcosm, and the universe is the macrocosm. So whenever you have a practice, say that's any similar to talismans, which is used for blessings or to protect, for protection or for health, you lay down a ritual area that is that mirrors the universe. And then also, but it's on a microcosmic level because we can't do anything on a macrocosm level. Anyway, they transfer to one another because whenever you work with something in the microcosm, it affects the macrocosm.
Can you
And
give an
so,
example? Sorry, interrupt you. Can you give one example?
what?
Can you give one example?
Okay. Well, say something. Okay, I'll say something kind of obvious. Say when someone, say like a really powerful person does something like declare war, it doesn't just affect him, it affects everyone and it affects the universe.
Okay.
So that's one person versus everything else. So that's kind of an example.
Okay. How about how is your health affect others?
Okay, well, because health is manifested in your physical body, but it's manifested also in the energy around you. So it affects others. And so especially when there's like mass infections and mass viruses, it's in the air and it affects others whether they know it or not. It's on an energetic level.
Okay. Okay, let's see some patient in the hospital, right? They have some kind of illness, and what happened? The medical tools or the medical items that been used for them maybe affect to environment, right? And of course, when they stay at home, they may affect to their family members and surrounding atmosphere too.
Yes, because it exists in the spirit energy around you, not just in your body. And actually, when you have an illness, it manifests itself in the energy around you first before it affects you physically. So that way, when you're around people, your auras or your spirit energies mix, and you can easily become receptive to other people's illnesses, whether you know it or not.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And in Taoism, anyone want to talk about this thing before I explain to you guys? Number 7. All right. And so in this question, I mean that it say that in Taoist view, the body like a state. Like if you can control your breath, all right, you can control your body. It's like the government official can control people. The country will be more peaceful. But if they cannot control the people, right, the country will be in chaos. So there is the body. If you cannot control your chi, your breath, and so forth, you may be sick physically and mentally. So that's the micro and in the level of micro and macro, right? All right, so let's move on. Number 8. Let's see here. Number 8. Describes the locations of the sacred sites where the Taoist sages cultivate and ordinary people go for pilgrimage. Number 8 is pretty easy. Who does number 8? Anyone of you? Number 8. What are the sacred places of Taoism? Anyone of you? No? All right, let me show you guys what they call the 5 mountains, right? In China. That is the famous Taoist places. You guys can see, right? So like the mountain Han, mountain Huashan, mountain Songshan, mountain Tai, and mountain He. These are the famous Taoist mountains that the Taoist people practice their meditations and so forth. These are the mountains for the Taoist people to go for pilgrimage, right? Okay, let's move on. Number 9. Who does number 9?
I have number 9.
Yeah, please.
I did number 9 too.
Danya,
You can go ahead first.
do you want to split it up between, like, do you want to do the inner and I'll do the external, or vice versa?
I mean,
Was that the
it's up to
alchemy
you.
question?
Come again?
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's the alchemy
international
question.
Okay, yeah, I did that one too.
Yeah, go ahead. Speak up, please.
Okay.
So your
We
last
can all
call-
do three of us.
We all did
started
it.
with
I also
Paul.
did that one, sorry.
Okay, so we'll divide it between the four of us then. Danya and
Yay.
I will do external alchemy, and the other two, Christina and whoever else,
Yeah, go ahead.
y'all can do the internal. So whoever
Sure.
wants to start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. Danya, you want to start?
Okay, I'll start. So basically, within Taoism, they use alchemy to work on themselves or to add external ingredients. And they do this into their body to transform elements within your body to purify and to spiritually develop yourself so that you can become, you can gain a longer life. And this leads to immortality, which is something that Taoists do believe in. And then this also allows you to become closer with Tao and then direct experience with Tao. So external alchemy basically involves adding external substances or chemicals to your body, such as potions and pills and elixirs. And yeah. And then those are just used, and yeah.
Continue? Or
I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, you can continue with external.
So yeah, kind of going on what
Your name, please. Your last name, please.
Alexander McCollum.
Yes, go ahead, please.
So it's all of what she said is true, but it's all based on causing matter to revert to its state of essence, or Jing, the prima material, if you will. So we're through creating these substances, we're supposed to revert ourselves back to a initial state of essence, a perfect state of essence that is going to allow us to live forever, or a much longer life. And it usually was done using mercury or lead that was melted into a false form of gold, because they were under the impression that a lesser form of gold was actually better for you, or not better for you, but of higher effect than just gold by itself would have been.
Okay. Anyone more? Anyone?
I think there's two more people to talk about internal alchemy.
Yeah.
Alexander and talk about external.
Yeah.
And Christina.
Alexander, you can go ahead first if you would.
No, it's
He did
Pedro.
already.
Oh,
Yeah.
who's the other person doing internal?
I think it might be Pedro.
That's okay. Go ahead. Spell your name, please. Your last.
Okay,
Yeah.
Christina Meredia, Maredia. So on internal alchemy, I guess it's more focusing like on not like meditation and just bettering yourself, your body inside. So like they would do breathing exercises and massages and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's really all that I did on it.
Well, it focused on the three treasures. So
What are the three treasures?
you have Jing, which basically means life essence. Then you have Qi, which of course is energy or vital energy. And then Shen, which is spirit or mind. So all of these things, we're trying to get all of these things in line from an internal perspective in order to attain this elixir. I think I read that it said that all human beings contain already their internal elixir. They just have to realize it through meditation to allow their Jing, their Qi, and their Shen to come to the highest essence.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Okay, let me ask you guys, three of you the question. So what is the difference between the Taoist breath meditation and Buddhist breath meditation? What are the differences?
So it's not exactly yoga.
No, I'm talking about Taoist and Buddhist meditation.
Yeah.
Breath meditation.
Yeah.
What are the differences?
I'm trying to,
I think in Buddhism, meditation has more to do with gaining enlightenment and a more spiritual development.
Yeah.
Whereas in Taoism, it more has to do with your own health and your own spiritual development and your own immortality. It's
like
not more
longevity
focused
and
on.
healing.
Yeah, like I don't think it's more focused on gaining enlightenment or being free from anything that is depicted in Buddhism. I think it's just more kind of just promoting your energy of life in order to become closer with Tao. I just think it's more spiritual in Buddhism. Yeah, it's probably a more spiritual context in Buddhism.
Okay, good. That's pretty good side. This is good. That's a good point. Anyone else? Christina?
She said everything that I was gonna say. They do focus on longevity and healing, like just focusing on themselves, their own health.
Another deal is that the Taoist version has a lot to do with diet in relation to meditation, and Buddhist meditation doesn't really associate with diet. While diet is, of course, of great importance in Buddhism, it's not directly related to meditation. Whereas in Taoism, your diet is directly related to your ability to create internal, what's the word I'm looking for? Internal essence or
I think also in Taoism, it's more, you focus on your physical and your mental, like both aspects. Whereas in Buddhism, it's more your mental spirituality, because that's, your soul is the essence. It's not, your body is not given as much importance. Whereas I think in Taoism, they kind of focus on both. So such as they're making the diet or meditation and then using internal, and external alchemy. I think it's not just to promote their mind and their mental health, but also their physical, attributes and aspects as well.
Taoism is almost pseudoscientific in its approach to meditation and revitalization. It's let's use these substances to manipulate our body to then allow us to attain a higher sense of enlightenment. And I don't think that Buddhism is like that at all. Unless maybe some, what's the word, like you burn incense, different stuff like that, but not to the degree.
But I don't think in Buddhism you would ever ingest anything or have any external alchemy to ever, want to gain that spiritual development.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, you guys bring the good points. But I ask the differences between Taoist practice of breath meditation and Buddhist breath meditation. What's that?
Just related to the breathing?
What are the difference?
Oh,
I actually don't know.
I'm not exactly
related to the breathing?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't.
Not sure. Okay. So you guys talk about the goal, right? The ultimate goal of Buddhist practice and Tao practice, right? For Buddhist practice, the ultimate goal is to attain enlightenment, right? For the Taoist practice of meditation, whichever, to prolong the life, right? That's why they swallow some type of medicine to manipulate the chemicals in the body, right? But breath meditation is in a similar way. So how are the differences? Anyone can recognize?
So in Taoist breathing, from what I understand, it gets everything inside your body moving with the rhythm of your breathing. Versus Buddhism is you're breathing in accordance with your meditation. It's in line with what you're doing, in order with what you're doing. Versus Taoism, it's you're trying to wake everything up. You're trying to get everything in rhythm through a particular type of breathing. I think that it focuses on stimulating the kidneys in particular.
You're almost there. Almost.
I'm trying.
Okay. What else? Anyone? Daniel, can you recognize?
I honestly don't. Whatever Alexander said is what I'm able to see, because I haven't gone over this information.
Okay.
I just know that when I did research, I just know that alchemy had to do with like meditation, martial arts, physical activity. I didn't really look at the differences between
the breathing.
So
meditation.
If you focus, if you understand the ultimate goal of these two traditions, you recognize the practice in different way, right? So for the Buddhist breath meditation, the important is to be aware of the breath. Make sense?
Okay.
So that,
yes.
so that you can have that kind of awareness, that kind of awakening later on. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Or Taoists, what happened then? They just go with the flow. They just try to manipulate. Some of them try to manipulate the breath and so forth, so that they can prolong the life.
Okay.
To be with the flow, to be with their breath.
Right.
So to extend their life. That's all. So that's a big difference. That's why some of them, they use breath to hold the breath, so that it's like yoga breathing too, right? Okay.
So Buddhist meditation is focused on the episode, that the individual episode that you're meditating on, and Taoist meditation is focused on the path that you're creating for yourself ahead of you because of how you're doing your meditation.
It's just stay within the boundary. The point is that for Buddhist meditation, especially breath meditation, you're supposed to be aware of your breath. If you are aware of your breath, that's the way you increase your wisdom. That's the way that you can say that enlightenment, awakening later on. It's a simple way. But for Taoist breath meditation, they just go follow the flow of their breath, or they hold the breath like yoga, breath yoga, so that they can prolong their life. It's simple. Am I sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's a pretty good, discussion for this number. All right, let's move on. Number 10. Who does number 10? They explain the reasons why many Chinese festivals are going around the moon cycle, the agriculture cycle, and the 5-phase cosmology. Number 10. Who does that? Why? Who does number 10? It's delayed to the Lunar New Year, the double fifth festival, or the Mid-Autumn Festival, and so forth. Right? Who can explain for me? Number 10. Okay, again, because in the past, right, we follow the agriculture custom, so they based upon the lunar calendar, right? And you know, in Taoism, they believe that the sun represents the yin. The yin that means the positive energy, and the moon represents the feminine cycle of life, right? And remember the 5 phases that I just explained recently, right? The 5 phases are the birth, the growth, transformation, decline, and death. So they based on that kind of 5 phases, plus on top that the yang and yin of the seasons, right? To celebrate their lunar festival, like New Year festival. Some of you attend at my center. The double fifth, that means the equivalent of the yin and yang, and the mid-autumn festival, and so forth. So that's why they celebrate. Okay. All right. Number 11 describes the treatments and attitudes of the Chinese Communist government and the Taiwanese government toward Taoism. Who can do this? 11. What are their attitude? The Chinese Communists and the Taiwanese government in Taiwan. What are their attitude toward Taoism? Anyone of you? No. Okay. The idea is that, you know, I've been in Taiwan before, and somehow they respect Taoism and they encourage people to practice this tradition as many Taoist centers, and even some Taoist people visit Buddhist center and vice versa. And actually, there's some sense of freedom of religion in Taiwan, but not in China. The government, they allow people to practice Taoism, but under the state control, and they use mostly not only Taoism but also all other traditions like Buddhism, Christianity, and so forth should be under umbrella of the state control agency. So even this some people still practice Taoism in China, but they still under the state control. That's what happened nowadays. Okay. All right, number 12. Who does number 12? Explain the influences of Taoism on Chinese fine arts, such as poetry, theaters, and so forth. Number 12. Who does number 12? Anyone of you have seen the Chinese painting? Anyone of you? No? All right, so let me show you guys this one here. Okay. Okay, here is the Taoist art, right? Most of the time, the Taoist artists, they draw the mountain, right? The nature, the landscape. This one, the yin and yang, right? You see that the mountain, the waterfall, and so forth. Because they develop this type of arts that show the flows of the energy within our body as well as our environment. So if you just type Taoist art, you see plenty of art that they draw in there. Okay. All right, let's go back to number 13. Who does number 13?
Oh, I can do number 13. Okay. So,
your name, please?
Cecile Quinn.
Yeah.
So, the reason why Taoist medicine is more geared towards immortality and longevity is because the main purpose of Taoism is to be in harmony with nature. So, one way how people can be in harmony with nature is to be in balance both physically and mentally. And a lot of ways practitioners kind of help balance people out is to consider the yin and yang energies a person has. And how they would balance it is consider if there was an imbalance somewhere, they don't try to counteract it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else who have taken Chinese herbs before? Anyone of you who has taken Chinese herbs, Chinese medicine before? No? Okay, so, for me, I have taken many of them many times. The basic idea is that for the Chinese doctor, they prescribe the Chinese herbs according to yin and yang. For example, if our body is too hot, they would prescribe some herbs that try to harmonize that energy within our body. If our body is too cold, they would prescribe the herbs accordingly. If we have too much air or water in the body, so they would prescribe the medicine to maintain the balance of the 5 elements. The wood, the fire, the water, the air, and the metals in our body. So that's the way they could prolong the life of people based on the 5 elements. Okay, good, thank you. Okay, number 14 describes how Zhuangzi inspired the Taoist people achieving the state of immortality, or at least embracing death without fear. Number 14. Who does number 14? No? So who is Zhuangzi? All right. So again, Zhuangzi, he is one of the Taoist people that practice Taoism, and he advocates that if we recognize the flow of life, right, the flow of energy, there's no need to fear of death, right? Just accept death as the way, as the way of life, right? It's the natural way of life, so there's no need to be afraid of, right? And of course, besides him, many Taoist people, they consume some kind of special herbs to prolong their life, and of course, that's what they hope. But still, if they could not prolong their life, they would accept the death when it's come to them. Okay, so that's the whole idea. All right, so this the 15. Number 15 is pretty easy. Describe the differences between the home and pole soul.
I think there's a few people that want to do 15.
Your name, please?
Shara Kazim Butts.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. I'm not going to say the entire thing just so other people have a chance as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
But, yeah. The Han and Po soul, basically, they hold significance in the Taoism religion, in the sense that Han, or the cloud soul, or Po, the white soul, are Chinese names for the entities of there's two types of souls, ethereal and corporeal soul. The state of mind of consciousness amongst the practices of the Taoist medicine and philosophical ideology. The two souls, Han and Po, basically have a relation to the 5 Shen model of the Shanqing dynasty of Taoism, which encompasses the 5 spirits that live in our organs and the 5 organs of Yin. The other spirits are Shen, which is the mind, Yi, which is intellect, or Ji, or which is willpower. Han is associated with the liver, which has been believed to exist even long after the death of the human being, while Po serves to live among the lungs, which in essence dies out at the same time of the human being when they die.
Okay. Anyone else?
And
yeah, the Han soul refers to the subtle spiritual essence of consciousness, whereas the Po soul refers more to the tangible aspects of consciousness that's physically alive with us. So it's kind of what more we experience on a day-to-day basis. It and that incorporates our senses, the sense of sight, the sense of smell, the sense of hearing. So basically that's what we experience on a day-to-day basis, and that dies when our physical bodies die. Whereas the Han soul, that kind of continues going after death. It's kind of more of a subtle consciousness, though.
Okay, sorry again. Before you speak, please spell your last name so that I can keep your record here.
Oh, my bad. Kroeger, Kroeger.
So basically, when someone passes away, right, according to Taoist views, right? So what happened with home and Po again? When someone passes away.
So when somebody passes away, the Han soul continues going, since that's your kind of your otherworldly spiritual consciousness, whereas the Po soul, that's gonna die with your body, which is your concept of the physical world, kind of more, because it has to do with our actual physical senses, what we experience on a day-to-day basis.
So they divide the physical and mental state into 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
When pass away, right? One is go to graveyard, one go to heaven.
Exactly. Right? Yeah.
So that's the meaning of the home pole. Okay.
Yeah, basically. And then there's also I think Han is related. It's actually it's a hard concept to understand in English, because the 2 words spirit and soul can be interchangeable in the English language, but the spirit and soul are 2 separate things actually. You can relate it to understand Han and Po easier. You can think about it as in the yin or yang aspect of life, the good and evil. Han is related more to the yang or the male side, while Po is related to the latter.
Okay. And later on, you can studied like in Shinto, it was influenced by Taoism too. That the ancestor would be revealed or pray by their children or grandchildren after they pass away. So they put the name plate on the altars to pray for their ancestor. So that means after their relative pass away, they would think that those deceased relatives would enter the what do you call the on the altar, right? They would pray for the deceased relatives by setting up that type of altars with the name tag there. Okay, so we study about that later on in Shinto. All right, number 16 describes the meanings of double fifth festival, the feast of hungry ghosts, Mid-Autumn festival, and double night festival. Who does number 16? Any one of you? Number 16? No? All right, so we just talk about the double fifth festival. That is on the 5th day of the 5th month of lunar months, right? So that's the peak of the yang and yin. They celebrate that. And when we talk about the feast of hungry ghosts, this is in the 15th of the 7th in lunar 7th month of lunar calendar month. So they accept, they adapt the Buddhist festival according to the story that a holy Buddhist monk went down to the ghost realms to rescue his mothers, but somehow he fell. So that's why he went back to report to the Buddha and ask for help. So Buddha advised him to ask or to request all the holy monks to pray together, and eventually the soul of his mother from the hungry ghost realm was liberated into the heaven. So that's the idea. That's the whole story. That the Taoist adaptation of the Buddhist story, right? And the Mid-Autumn festival, that's what they call the children festival. This is what they celebrate the full moon of that kind of festival, and they celebrate the harvest of the agriculture in the agricultural custom, right? And that's represent the yang has complete its dominate and give away to yin after the autumns, right? And double night festival, this is later on. It's less frequent observed. Okay. All right, number 17 describes the spiritual work of Taoists in helping a diseased people in the underworld and communicate with them. Who does number 17? Any one of you? No. Also, anyway, the Buddhist priest, the Taoist priest, they do the funeral service for the Taoist people, including sending the special documents to the Hell Emperor and so forth. After they bury the corpse, they would provide us the food, the money, and so forth. That's why, if you visit some Chinese temple, especially Taoist temple, you will see they burn the paper as a form of giving the money. Somehow, some of them they make the house, the paper house, the house made by paper, the car, the money, and so forth in paper, and they burn them with the wish that they would send this type of items like the cars, the house, the money for the deceased relatives. But in Buddhist practice, we would not accept that. All right. Yeah. Okay. Now, number 18, elaborate how Taoism has served as a venue for Buddhist culture tradition into Chinese culture. Number 18, who does that? No? All right, somehow, you know, of course, you know, Taoism start from China. It start by Lao Tzu during the 6th or 5th century BC. But of course, in the meantime, Buddhism start in India around 5th century BC. But later on, when Buddhism spread to China, the 1st and 2nd century BC, it adapts some Taoist terms like Wu Wei or non-action and so forth, because that's easy for Chinese people to understand. They adapt some kind of complex philosophy from the Taoist traditions. And even the Zen or the Chan school in China is utilize some Taoist elements there. So that is the incorporation of Taoist idea that the Buddhists use when it spread to China. All right, so number 19 explains how Taoist status quo was subsisted by most Chinese emperor court. Who does number 19? No? You guys still hear me? All right. Okay, so again, you know, in the 4th century, Li Hong, he raised armies and uprised the base of the emperor court. He wanted to become a king because of his name is Li, as the name of the Lao Tzu, the last name of Lao Tzu. So that's why from that time on, all those emperor have that type of species toward Taoism. And of course, most of them see Taoism as superstitions, right? And so up to now, there's not much courage, right, in the course of history. Okay. All right. Number 20, explain how people were justified in hell. Number 20. Who does number 20? No. Okay. So in Taoism, and actually it affects to Chinese religious culture too. So they see the hell structure like the 10 tribunals hells, and they have the books to record the people did whichever did they have done, right? Okay, and when someone passed away, they would go down to the hell and be judged by the judge, and if after they pay off the debt, they would be back as human again. So that's what they try to explain. All right, so number 21. Who does number 21? Explain these reasons why it is crucial to determine the specific day and times for all important events and rise in life, such as marriage, pregnancy, and death. Who does number 21? No. For example, for people who get married, right, so it is important for the Taoist priest to look at the lunar calendars to determine which day is the best day for them to have the wedding ceremony, even during the funeral services and so forth. Even me too. Sometimes the Buddhist people call me and ask me about the date to do the funeral service. But in Buddhist view, we see that other times that could be auspicious, depend upon our mind, our state of mind. If we have good state of mind, that's good day. If we don't have good state of mind, that's a bad day. But in Taoism, it's different. They look at the calendar carefully based upon the yin and yang and so forth. All right. So number 22, explain the roles of Taoist priests in the faith healing, burial ceremony, and all the special ritual. Any one of you? Number 22. So again, it's similar way that for Taoist priests do the funeral service, wedding ceremony, and so forth. Right? They would look at the calendars to do those ceremony and celebrations. They would recognize, I mean, that they would calculate the special days for them to do that as kind of celebration. And again, they may burn the money. They may burn the paper money or the paper house to send to the hell for the diseased relatives or for their followers. Okay. About number 23 explains the significant meanings of the Kunmin, the revival ties with the diseased relatives and the family renewal. And one of you, number 23? No? All right, again, Kunmin, you know, in Taoism, of course, it affects to Buddhism too. They're really concerned about people who pass away, especially their diseased relatives. So Kunmin is a time for them that they go to visit the graveyard, the cemeteries where their deceased relatives were buried, and they sweep the tombs and so forth to remember about their deceased relatives, like parents, grandparents, and so forth. Okay. All right, the last one, number 24, provides some specific Taoist techniques to escape death through practice of internal alchemies. Who knows number 24? No? Some of you, right? The internal alchemy, right? All right. Sin, you want to talk something about internal alchemy?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the internal alchemy of Taoism is also known as Meidan, which is, I think people said it earlier, but it was like the gathering, storing, and circulating of energies of the human body, which is Jing, Qi, and Shen. Mm-hmm. Basically, the whole purpose is just to improve your mental, physical, emotional health in order to ultimately lead to immortality. And this could be like meditation or breathing exercises.
Okay. Anything more?
That's pretty much all I have written down for that one.
All right. So any one of you have not spoken, you need to speak so that you can get 5 points. Okay. And remember to type your name on the chat side. Okay. So that I can keep the record. Any one of you want to say anything?
Yeah, my question was not on the list anymore.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was describe the purpose and functions of the Great Jiao ceremony.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Great Jiao ceremony is like a cornerstone of the practice. It's a ceremony performed by local communities or like small religious groups. They perform the occasion once every few years. The name of the ceremony, Jiao, when it's translated, it means offering. So what it is it's basically an offering or a series of prayers made in the name of the local community's guardian deity. The event itself can last like up to a week, depending on the community, and there's like a lot of things they do to perform the tradition. There's things like theater performed by troops on temporary stages. There's like they carry a statue through the community of the deity, things like that. But yeah, the ceremony is it's like presentation of gifts and offerings to deities.
Okay, so usually this type of Jiao ceremony will be done by the emperor or the official, the government official, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyone else want to talk? Anyone else who have not spoken? You need to speak so that you can get the 5 points. Then, all right. Let me show you. That's short video clips, okay, about Taoism. All right. Stay still.
我第一次到青城山是8788年，很早就跟青城山人结缘。我后来当张会长的徒弟，青城山也变成我的家。我就希望他们到这里，这也是他们的家，就是为了弘道。在美国，在这个地方建一个能弘道、传道、修道、行道的基地。
莫道长是一个非常认真的，而且呢是非常执着的一位修行的美国道长啊。当然他是从我们的青城山接的这个道源啊，把这个青城山全真龙门的这个法脉啊接到我们西雅图啊，接到我们北美啊，这个事情呢，不管是对于中国的道教在海外的传播来讲，还是说从美国的文化与中国文化的交流来讲，都是一件非常有意义的事情。能够感觉到我们所处的这个新时代的这个全球化。
As far as I know, there's never been this kind of Taoist ceremony in the United States before. I think a 3-day ceremony to open a new temple is incredibly significant in U.S. history.
It's an amazing experience to come here. I feel lucky to come for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And during the reception, the delegation was telling us that they don't normally leave the mountain for anything, so it was quite an honor.
It was amazing, especially when all the monks came out and we were all able to go back in and step over into the monastery that has been blessed by these monks that came all the way from China just to do this. And I felt really honored to be a part of it.
好像回到自己中国的地方，而且在家的感觉很亲切。
希望这种中国的传统文化以后在西雅图会越来越多，然后让美国人或者是让世界各国的人都能了解这个中国的真正的本土的文化和宗教。
Okay, that's all. All right, any question for me before we end today? All right, so remember the next online meeting, the 4 online meeting will be on April the 8th, right? April the 8th, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and let me see one more time. Yeah. Sorry, sorry, I messed up. Is that the 11th? Sorry, 11, right? April 11. Yeah, the 4 online meeting. Yeah, the 11, sorry. And the 18th will be our in-class presentation, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we have Ms. Huynh, Alexander, Mr. Pecan, and others who will do the in-class presentation, okay? So see you on April the 11th, online class, okay? If you want to ask me anything, any question about your grade, your paper, or you can stay back. Or anyway, so again, before you go, please don't forget to type your name, all right, for record, okay? All right, thank you. So see you on.
Thank you, Professor.
11 then. All right, thank you. See you then.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. Blanson, you came late, right? Blanson? Can you hear me, Blanson? Okay. All right, any more questions from me? Anyone of you want to ask me any question? Blanson, can you hear me? That's okay. All right. So yeah, if you don't have any question, you're welcome to go. Okay, and see you on April 11. Okay. All right. So thank you. So see you then. See you April 11.